Hey, I'm Dave Klein, and you're listening to Foreskin, Gamers Uncut. And today we have a fun episode because just recently it was the 10-year anniversary of two of my favorite consoles. And I'm just saying that pretty much every console. I love each of my children equally. But to my left
is Joe Baker. How y'all doing?
And then John the Fascist Quick.
So let's go on with the topic, which first we'll go with the original launch, the one that launched first, GameCube. GameCube released a week before the Xbox. Now, did you guys get the GameCube at the launch? Did you ever get a GameCube? What happened? What was your experience with it?
Alright, just to clarify, when Dave was talking about the two consoles over the 10-year anniversary, he was talking about the GameCube and the Xbox. Just so everyone knows, we didn't state that up front. But, hey...
our listenership knows. I believe in you guys.
You have the faith.
So you start off by sucking GameCube and Xbox dick. Now you're just sucking all our listeners' dicks.
Well, then I sucked every console's dick by saying I love all my children equally.
That's because the other consoles caught you cheating.
I'm sorry, Super Nintendo. You're my true favorite.
But anyway, on the side, I got a GameCube first. I was one of those assholes that got a PS2 at launch, and
you played the fireworks game every day.
Well, yeah, of course. I don't know. I actually got Armored Core 2 as my first launch title.
That was a great game.
Oh yeah, it was a great fucking choice. I was really happy with it. But as like a couple of years went by and I had fallen into some extra cash, I was just decided it's like, I want to get a second console, and the GameCube was just so much cheaper, and I was looking for something that I could just pick up a few games on and play. Basically I called it the secondary console. I was primarily a PS2 player, but I needed to find a second, so I grabbed the GameCube, and it was a really, really great buy for something to just kind of have on the side. I wouldn't this was still back in the day where I could, probably only afford one console per generation. So, if you made the wrong choice, then you were stuck playing the same damn game over and over again for a long fucking while. So, GameCube wouldn't have been a great primary choice.
Well, it kind of just depended on the system. That really didn't happen until N64 and GameCube. Yeah. I ended up buying the GameCube as well over the Xbox, and I bought it at launch, and I had a Dreamcast, and I didn't buy a Dreamcast when it first came out because I had a Sega Saturn, and I was pissed when Sega Saturn died and failed, and I was like, I'm never buying a Sega console ever again, fuck Sega. And then I didn't buy the Dreamcast, and a year later I finally played Power Stone, and I was like, oh my god, I need to have this system.
And then Sonic the Hedgehog rolled up and said, yeah, I knew you'd be back, bitch.
And then I
bent
And then I bent over. And then Dreamcast died again. But since I had the Dreamcast, and I think it was already dying by that point, but I was like, the PS2 was cool. What really made me like the PS2 a lot was actually SSX. But I was like, I've always loved every Nintendo system. I'm a huge Mario fan. I love every Zelda game. Huge, just Mario, Zelda, Metroid, the whole Nintendo core I love. And also the new Smash Brothers was coming out to GameCube. And yeah. I played Luigi's Mansion at Toys R Us. And honestly, that was the sell for me. It was Luigi's Mansion. I loved it. I was like, this game is incredible. I want a GameCube for that. So
you and 5 other assholes.
I love that game. I'm really happy it's coming back to 3DS. Yeah,
you and the 5 other guys that bought it. I'm sure you guys did love it.
And you didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you missed out. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was a fun game. But it was the launch. It was the premier launch title when GameCube came out, which I think is kind of funny because every other Nintendo system launched with a Mario game, but it kind of said something about the GameCube that they launched it with a Luigi game.
The Wii didn't, and the Wii sold out beyond anything.
That's true, but I mean, the Wii came after.
With Zelda, though. It came with Zelda. The 3DS came with nothing. Damn it.
Well, yeah, that's
Mario Land's on there.
that's actually a good point. Like the GameCube didn't launch with one of the Holy Trinity in its lineup.
Yeah, it launched with the Trinity's brother.
Well, I can see why that for most people would be a huge problem. I guess for me, like just playing Luigi's Mansion though at Toys R Us, because I mean that used to be like the selling point was you'd play a game at Toys R Us, it'd be like whoa, or Blockbuster, Toys R Us or Blockbuster,
or Best Buy, yeah.
Back in the day when Blockbuster
choose your
existed.
pick.
But yeah, now Best Buy. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just after playing Luigi's Mansion, I was sold on it. I was like, this is so awesome.
And there were some really great games for it, like Star Fox: The Adventures. Like that was a fun game.
Wait, Joe, you had a fun GameCube story, and I want you to
I
relate
did.
that to everybody.
Well, it was kind of a tragic GameCube story because I got the GameCube, bought it with my own money, and then had the warranty on it. And weeks after the warranty let up, the laser had a problem, so it just wouldn't read any disc. And I don't know if you've ever had that problem with any console.
I feel like that happened to me, but it only happened on one game. It wouldn't read Star Wars Rogue Squadron for me, and I wanted to kill my GameCube.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
That was a great game.
But yeah, so once that happened, I just, had a falling out with Nintendo for a little bit, but that's my own personal.
Well,
did you come back to it? Did you bend over for Mario like I did for
No,
Sonic?
I haven't bought anything, any Nintendo console since.
Thanks for making me look like a bitch.
It's actually weird that you say that, because one of the main selling points for Nintendo is that they make consoles that do not die.
Yeah.
The original Nintendo Entertainment System that we have.
Heck yeah, I still have one of those that works.
Wait, no.
It was we bought it.
I've gone through like 4
1989.
NESs. Because it makes it so the games start going green, and you get the green flashing.
Yeah, and
then,
you gotta
and
Fonzie it.
and they have to
after a
like
while.
blow in it, but apparently blowing in it made it worse.
Yeah.
And it turned out.
Apparently, you just don't have the skrills. My Nintendo still works.
Well, that's why they started remaking like new NESs you can buy that are like new, where it's like a new version of it that's the top upright one. It's because it was such a bad console in that sense. I mean, it didn't generally die while you owned it. I don't know. I think I went through one when we owned it. Then after like PlayStation came out was when my second one died, and then I bought a third one.
But
the Game Boy though, I think is the true testament. The
Oh,
original
that's
Game
true.
Boy.
Okay, yeah.
That's a brick you could throw anywhere and would survive.
Yeah, my original GameCube or Game Boy still works, as does the Game Boy Color I had, as does the Game Boy Advance. So it's like they did something quite right with those.
My 3DS actually has a problem though. The sound doesn't work properly. I didn't notice. I just thought that all 3DSs had shitty sound until my little brother. I was visiting him and playing his, and his worked perfectly. And I was like, wait, I've had a crappy 3DS that I should return this whole time, but I don't want to yet because I'm on the what is it? The special program where you get 20 free games. And until I got those 20 free games, I'm waiting so I can transfer them over. But back to the GameCube.
Well, I guess back to on topic. We've talked about when we got our first GameCube. Now, why did we moving on to Xbox? Did everyone here get an Xbox, or was I the only guy?
I got you know what? It wasn't. I didn't get an Xbox. I'm fortunate that I have 2 brothers. So therefore, when one of us buys something, everyone else gets to buy it. So we didn't get it originally, but about a year after it came out, one of my brothers got it. So I played a lot of Halo at that point, or maybe it was like maybe it was a couple months after the launch. But initially, one of my best friends got it, and all I did was stay up with him the entire night and beat Halo in one sitting.
Yes, sir. I have memories like that as well. Because I didn't own an Xbox either, but I felt like pretty much all the friends that like I had in high school, somebody had an Xbox, somebody had a PlayStation 2, and somebody had a GameCube. So among everybody, you know, we were covered.
My main Xbox memory is what I was saying with Halo, where playing co-op with my buddy, he decided to get an Xbox, I think, the week of the launch. Originally, he wasn't going to, because we actually both got GameCubes, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to spend all my money and get an Xbox. I was like, sweet, I'm there! So we both played Halo all night, till 4 in the morning when we finally beat it, and then we turned on the TV, and on public television was randomly, somehow, Steve and Dave's Video Game Explosion, which was a horrible, horrible public TV show for video games where it was these two guys just talking about games, and somehow they had a sponsorship with Sobe, and they kept on drinking and spitting out and talking about how much they hated Sobe. And that's how I found out what Sobe was. I didn't even know what Sobe was until that point in time. I'd never even heard of it before.
Horrible product placement.
But apparently it worked, because that's how I heard of Sobe. I was like, what is this Sobe? But at the same time, it made me never want to drink it, because they kept on spitting it out and talking about how horrible it was.
Yeah, there are some good Sobeys.
These are the guys paying our rent. Man, this is ass!
That was literally what they would do. They would say, we're sponsored by Sobe, drinking and spit it out and be like, this tastes horrible. But my GameCube memory I just want to throw out, because it's kind of different and weird and interesting, is this is just pointing out that what I was saying with Mario Sunshine, how it's the one game I can always go back to. My favorite GameCube memory is actually my freshman year of college, which was like probably 4 or 5 years after GameCube came out. I had it with me in my freshman dorm, and there was a hot girl who I was interested in, and I was really sick, and I was supposed to go hang out with her in like a couple hours to help her do math homework, because that's what nerds do. They help hot girls with math homework. But I was feeling so shitty, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna turn on and replay Mario Sunshine, and I had so much fun, and it made me so happy. It made me happier than the fact I was hanging out with a hot girl, I think. I was just so happy playing that game, being sick, and so joyous and jubilant. And I'm going to keep on throwing out more terms for happy. But that's my fondest memory of the GameCube, is that moment playing Mario Sunshine.
David Klein, reinforcing gamer stereotypes since 1987.
True, and people don't believe I'm a gamer. But
because you look like an Aryan superstar.
I know. The Jewish gamer who looks like an Aryan superstar. What? I'm redefining logic.
You guys, if any of you ever get to see a picture of Dave Klein, I mean, I'll say this, like, first off, the kid, he is Jewish, but he looks like he stepped out of a Nazi propaganda poster. He really does. He looks, he's blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like all the features that the master races apparently was going for is expressed within Dave Klein. So think on that, Hitler.
Or you could just watch the weekly catch-up. I'm gonna throw that. Watch the weekly catch-up, then you can find out and just watch that. How about that? And hopefully see what John looks like, because maybe he'll make another appearance. But
I look like Jesus.
We're way over, but that's okay, because what do gamers love to do? Nostalgia, and that's totally cool. Hopefully you had fun and reminiscing with us, and you had your own memories. If you had memories, actually, we'd love to hear them. Please post your comments of memories that you guys have of Xbox and GameCube. And I want to hear it. I want to find out what you guys think too. So that wraps up this episode of Foreskin Gamers Uncut with only three skins. I don't even know what that would be.
The knife missed a bit.
Yeah, well.